Hi everyone, I'm Matteo Collina, Platformatic co-founder and CTO. One of the major pain points of building REST APIs is versioning, and we don't shy away from a challenge. So we worked hard in the last few months to build a solution for this hard problem. So let's delve in. This is the typical starting point of a platformatic service. And you can easily get your OpenAPI documentation here, which is a classic Swagger UI. And we have a very simple example route. This, as you can see, is not versioned. So, how could we version this? So this is our service running. So now we can stop it. And here is a typical platformatic service system. And now what we can do platformatic service versions bump. And this will automatically create the first V1 version, which is the current version as you have just seen. So let's see what these changes as implemented. Okay, and if we start our service again, we can now see that we got a nice platformatic service V1, and you can even twinkle the dark mode if you like. And so this is for the V1 routes, and this is for we can still have some generic routes in our application that are unversioned. So here, and this is the V1 example as we have seen. Cool. Okay, so what can we do now? Well, something that is very nice is that we could, for example, start going in, and you see we have V1 and we have the OpenAPI.json here, and we have our routes, and this is our get routes. So let's start adding another route. So let's call it fastify.post .hello. Let's call it hello, and we want to specify a schema. So, and we want to specify a schema for the body, which has is a name. Okay, and here we go. And now this returns the hello request. Oh, we need the request object here. Request, okay. .body.name, and we want the body to be required. Okay. So if we refresh our OpenAPI, now we can see that we have our V1 hello, and we can try it out, and you can see that this is named Matteo, and we can run it. And now we got our hello Matteo here, as you can see down here. It's been automatically, it works. Okay, this is a basic route. Now we have added this route, okay? So in order we can update our system. So we can do plt versions update to update service versions update to update the V1 routes. Okay, great. So let's imagine we want to do some changes now to this route. So what we can do is we could issue a bump. And this has automatically created a V2 routes, and now we can check them, and you can see that now we have both V1 and V2, and they are identical still, so it's the same V2 route, but we can even go back to our V1 route. So this is the V1 example, and if we run our system, our route, everything still works as before. As you can see, this keeps working, no problem. But if we go to V2, we can do the same thing with V2. Okay, so nice, perfect. So how can we change this? Let's implement a breaking change. Okay, so now we can go back in our route, and here we could say, instead of name, okay, we want to call this full name. Okay, this is the property is called full name now, and we rename it. We have renamed the property, and we can just issue an update. And now, as you can see, it has created some changes some code. So now in V1, we now have a mapper for post and load, which is a route. Okay, and this tells us that we have added a schema for full name and remove a property and the body for full name, and added and removed name. Cool. Okay, so now we need to implement some changes here. So basically, what we want to do instead, in the request body, we want to say full name, which is equal to request body dot name. Cool. Okay, so if I go back in my service, everything is still working. I go into V1 and everything is still working in V1, same code as before. We can try out the post and say that this is Matteo, and we can run it, and these still exactly work as expected. If we change in the code, we can see that we received V1, okay, hello, and now this has been directed to V2 hello. How does it work? Well, you can see the magic inside here. There's no magic. We just call a V2 an inject function inside the code itself. It's pretty cool, right? Before it was happening automatically. Now the system does not know how to do the mapping, so we now need to do it. Okay, so okay, we have done V1, V2, we've done it manually. Great. We want to ship more breaking changes because look, you know, business is never happy. So let's ship another breaking change. So what we can do now is we can do service versions bump, and we move our system to V3. Okay, and it is V3. Okay, and it says that nothing changed, nothing has changed in V3. So we had to generate no mappers for V2 to map V2 to V3. Everything is handled automatically. So how does it work though? So let's make a change. So instead of full name, now we are moving back to name and surname. And we want them to be specified. So we want name plus surname. Okay, that's what it is. Okay, we have made this change. Now we are going to use another fantastic feature of Platformatic version, which is a sprinkle of OpenAI magic, so that we can just run OpenAI to regenerate the mapper for us. And now you can see that we have these calls our servers, and our servers is you need to issue a Platformatic login before. And once you're done your servers, our servers call the OpenAI APIs to generate you the mapper that I've just shown you automatically. Let's take a look at what happened. So if we go back in V2, now we have a mappers folder, and you see that we have name, surname, and full name. Okay, you see that we have added name and surname, and then we have added a full and removed a full name. And let's take a look at what has been generated. So in fact, if you can see it exactly what happened. So if there is a request body, it takes the first part of a name, it split the full name, and the first one is the first part is the name, and the second one is the surname. This logic might not be correct or whatever. You might want to tinker it and change it, whatever. So now we can now we can restart it. And here we go. And let's try V3. So let's try V2. So here it was V2, and reset, and we can say Matteo Collina, and we are executing it. And oh yeah, sorry, this is V2 and this is full name. Yeah, it's full name. Try it out. This is full name. So Matteo Collina. Here we go, and here it is. And yes, this is working as expected. We can even go back here. We have V3, and V3 is everything is fine, and we can specify Matteo and Collina here. And here we go. everything is execute working as you would expect it to. Okay, and funny enough, we can go back to V1 and try it out and say if we pass here Matteo Collina, oh sorry, this is the post one. Okay, and if we pass here Matteo Collina, we can, everything still works, you see. And if you go back into the code, you will see that we have a V1 hello calling V2 hello, calling V3 hello, whatever, and then all three resolves and respond correctly. So this is the way automatic versioning works in Platformatic service. You can easily compose systems and stack multiple versions on top of each other. Of course, you might want to remove old ones if they're not used anymore. So keep track on your OpenTelemetry, which is supported by Platformatic service, or even your logs. And yeah, that's great. Okay, and you know, you might recall that in September we unveiled our Breaking Change Detector to identify the risk of a given change, right? Well, you know, with the new version management system, you can now ship those breaking changes without worrying too much. So thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.